Oh, hello there! Had a bank holiday, feeling fresh.
Good afternoon, vlog. It's post-Easter, nice little mini eggs here. Angus wants us to record a reaction to this JPMorgan advert. So all I know is that it's some sort of video that was recorded during COVID. You know, taking a load of elements out of the post-production process, streamlined it down to like 10 days instead of months that they usually go by.
But know when it comes to your finances, we are here for you.
What can I do for you today?
But don't worry, we can still look after your finances. God, that advert's really stuck in my head. Oh, I'm a bit overexposed, aren't I? There we go. That's a bit better, isn't it? It felt very rushed, didn't it? It felt very unsympathetic, very rushed. Boom, here's a video. We need to get a video out. I can understand why. Maybe they've had a lot of pressure from people. Being a finance company and in worlds of global pandemic, people, one of the first things they'll go to think about is, oh my God, is my money okay? Are my finances all right? So I don't blame them for trying to get a video out quickly. I think it's important for them to try and reassure their customers, hey, look, it's fine, don't worry. Your finances are all right. You need to look after your family. We'll do our job. We'll look after the finances. We can still work from home. You look after yourselves and your family.
I mean, I can see why a large company, it would be very difficult to create that. It's difficult to create things quickly, getting sign off. Like, as a piece of video, it's not immensely impressive.
Simple. Reminds me a lot of the, was it a Google advert they did for the Super Bowl? Banks can seem like quite a kind of faceless industry, and over the past sort of 10, 20 years, something they've been consistently trying to do as part of their kind of marketing and advertising campaigns is to make banks seem a bit more human. So you've seen that with HSBC, where they've given kind of a lot of stories about travel and how they're kind of bringing the world together globally. So yeah, I thought the advert was nice. It's cheap, cheerful, simple, effective, had an emotional angle to it. I didn't think it was like highly creative, but I think that's kind of what they wanted to do to get the point across. Banking needs to be something that's quite simple, something that isn't scary to consumers, something that doesn't seem complicated.
So for me, I see how they've managed to do this on such a tight turnaround, because effectively there's not that much actual content in there, which is interesting. I like the way that they've done it and included some of the footage. Creative-wise, I think some more could have been done by having either some subtitling or having some text on screen to kind of highlight any key messages. That for me feels like it's missing. I thought they did a good job, for bearing in mind that they usually spend months on their content. To do it in 10 days and have that signed off, that's a pretty big achievement for them, really.
Look at what they can do from their existing footage, look at what they can do virtually, look at what they can do while they're working from home. I think either way the world is going to change quite drastically after the experience that we're going through internationally with this. But I think we're going to see a lot more of this kind of short shelf life, recyclable, disposable content coming out, and I just hope that the focus for brands is on quality at this point in time.
Apple have been doing a lot of these recently where they just have like a voiceover or music or something, and then they just have like photographs, and I think it's a nice format. I think it's pretty big that a big corporation has done that. I think that's cool, but I think that's just keeping up with what everyone else is doing. I don't think that that's massively, whoa. You know, I don't really think that's what it is.
During this time, we've obviously still been pumping out adverts as much as we can. A lot of them have been animation based. A lot of them have also been fully using stock footage. And one other aspect that we've gone into is doing digital and online interviews. And in a similar sense to that, there were the moments you had where it was the people talking down their webcams, and then they've chosen just to do a pure black background, which was quite nice actually, I must admit. Did kind of take you out a bit, and suited later on when they layered down all the images together. So it worked in a nice kind of mosaic way. But we've been doing digital interviews where we've actually put our videos on the laptop. We set dressed each laptop and location to match the person's role. With Ben Herod, our sound designer, I was able to put down aux cables, a keyboard, some headphones. Naomi was the art designer and photographer on set, so there I put down some nice coloured books, 2 different old vintage cameras, and we let the interviews take the main narrative of the video and lead the structure, lead the flow of everything. So there was no need for a weird, robotic voiceover to come over the top and take you on that journey. It was the people actually talking to you and talking to the camera. I think that certainly helped way more than whatever they did.
So for me, this style of approach is quite interesting because I think actually we'll continue to see some of this post-COVID. I think people are realising that they don't need to be in an office to be able to function and work. We still can connect virtually, you know, it's not limiting so much what we can and can't do. I think we've always been under the impression that, you know, we can't shoot someone if they're in the US or if they're in another part of the globe to the UK, when actually we can shoot them, we can just do it via this method.
Over the weekend, I've been reading Ray Dalio's Principles, which is a great book. I know you're reading it too, Angus. What do you think? Insert your little opinion here.
I want you to meet my parents.
Brilliant book about the principles that you should devise for personal success and for business success. And I'm looking and revisiting the structures of every single department. And then my kind of idea is I'm going to map out all of the processes. I'm going to map out like the playbook of the business effectively. And then I'm going to read a load more books. And then every single book I read, I'm going to sort of like pin it back to this stuff and see if this stuff still sort of makes sense. Then we've got everything kind of all streamlined, all ready to go. Everyone knows their place. We all know our mission. We've got our goals. Bang, and go.